Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Power Book 2 Ghost Episode 3 preview. We're going to discuss that promo, sort of theorize where this story seems to be going. I think there's a couple of interesting tidbits from that preview that we saw that are well worth getting into. Before we do, though, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're here every week to discuss all things Power Book 2. We have our full review for Episode 2 up already. And if you do want to support us further, check those links to the store and also our Patreon.
All right, so let's talk about the Tasha of it all, because she's not being honest with Davis, and that is not helping him to be able to actually represent her properly.
It is just a total messy situation here, and I get where Tasha is going with some of it. I understand what she's trying to do, but I think the problem is, and I think this is what's going to be so difficult for her and Davis both ultimately, is whether it be her involvement in Ghost Operation or Tommy Egan's culpability or lack thereof in Ghost Death, that eventually, like, this stuff is going to get all tangled up, and I think there's only so much that Davis can really be able to do. Even if he has that line about it doesn't really matter what the truth is, it matters what we can sell. You still gotta sell something that can be believed as the truth.
Yeah, and with it being this queen pin sort of status that they're trying to pin on her, they really need to sift through what she can tell him if she's not going to tell him everything, and really come up with a story that's going to work, because they're right. Her name is all over everything, all the checks, all the businesses, all the everything. So she is involved. So is it then that they're going to try to maybe shift it in a way to sort of be like, yes, she was involved, but she wasn't doing this stuff. She was doing this stuff. Get her a lighter sentence. Try to anything else.
The thing that I'm kind of constantly thinking about right now in my head is, okay, what can Davis do when it comes to digging through Ghost's past that he can say specifically and just completely definitively there's no way that Tasha could have done this particular thing? Like, there has to be some things that Ghost has done that are just either just physically impossible for Tasha to have done, or Tasha's just got a full-on alibi for, or some sort of excuse for.
Yeah, because one of the things they're trying to prove is that she is the person who orders the hits. And one of the things that we just saw in this past episode that they were saying is about Terry Silver, that she knew where he was, she knew where the body was, how would she know something like that? And they were trying to say, of course, there's no way that physically Tasha could have done that, but that she could have hired or asked a ghost to deal with that for her. But then what's the motivation for that? And that's sort of like where things start to get a little more complicated, because she was his lover. Like, why would she do something like this?
And this is where our guy Tommy Egan is so wrapped up in this, and I think eventually we gotta see Tommy, because Tommy is that person. He is the obvious connective tissue. He's in the wind. They have talked about him. Tommy's name has now been conjured up in 2 straight episodes.
Yep.
Tommy's coming. I feel pretty good about this. I also feel pretty worried, though, that at some point during this trial, which seems to be coming, they're going to find a way, this prosecution, to be like, and now, our next witness is somebody who knew Ghost very well, who saw him as a public figure. Rashad Tate, here you go. He's going to go up there on the stand, and he's just going to be a total, just lousy human being again and lie across the board.
I would be really shocked if Tate did not take that stand.
I feel like with Tate rising to power, he's an influential voice.
Yep.
He's gonna try to screw Tasha over so bad.
Absolutely, I feel like that is going to happen.
Yeah.
We already saw some of that at the funeral, where it was just Tate being awful.
We saw in this preview a little bit of something we haven't seen that much already of, and that is sort of Tasha's life in prison. It feels like they've sort of steered clear of trying to show like the day-to-day with her, save for like a couple little scenes here or there, but we may actually be getting more into that now.
Yeah, and in this episode we got a little into it. She did see another inmate talking to a guard who was talking to the guard in a way that made it feel like she had some sort of relationship or a little bit of influence. And yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Tasha's day-to-day life in there, what's going on. At the most, it just feels like she's just alone.
Yeah.
So one of the things that she did ask was she wanted to have this pill to be able to trade for currency, uses currency and uses a trade to sort of open the door with this woman that she feels has influence. And we did see that in the preview that she's going to be talking. So see where that goes.
It's at least something to make sure that she survives and makes it through whatever she's going through in there. We don't know a lot about the politics of this prison as of yet, but
No.
I think we have all collectively seen enough prison movies and TV shows to know that if you don't have friends, it's not going to end well for you.
No.
That I think we can be confident of, and based on this preview, we can also be confident that we're going to see more of the Monet Tejada criminal empire and some of what could be going on here, because it seems like slowly now Tariq is just going to be pulled into some of this.
Yeah, I mean, Monet did this power move at the end of the last episode where she gave the pill to Tasha. She gave her a cell phone. She gave Tariq a cell phone. None of them knew what was going on. So she is pulling some strings over there. She wants to know as much as she can about Tariq, about his family, what's going on with Tasha. Monet seems like a character that really just lives off of information, because information is power. So the more that she's able to know, the more she can influence. So that last scene with like her kids all sitting around the couch and her coming in being like, what is happening here? I wonder, like, are they gonna have little bits of problems going on in the family, or the kids just wanting to be more involved, or they think maybe she's losing a bit of her grip?
I can see all of this. Like, I'm gonna write a little bit of Power Book 2 fan fiction
All
here
right,
with like
let's
characters that I don't even know all that well yet, but it feels like Diana's gonna be that person who feels like she has a lot of intellectual influence, even though she's still kind of new in it. And, you know, Kane feels like he is totally the guy who's just gonna be like, I'm a wild card, and then he's just gonna go and do whatever he kind of wants to do. And I think the Tariq, if he gets more mixed up in this, he's going to sort of think, okay, I can be like an information guy, or I can just use my past experience, and that I can kind of keep my hands clean with some of this, because I know Kane's going to run in there and do all the chaotic stuff. But I just think you've got all of these people who have a very specific perspective as to what they could be doing, and maybe that they could be doing it better. I feel like there's going to be a lot of not getting along that happens.
The thing that I'm the most interested to see with the Monet and Tariq relationship is mostly that, I mean, Monet has been in this business forever, it seems.
Yeah.
She is very good at this. And she's going to want to be able to get information from Tariq and be able to control Tariq as much as she can. But we do know that he is also kind of starting to look to maybe sell at the school. I mean, Braden has brought it up a couple times now. Yeah. Tariq hasn't said yes yet, but we know he needs money for Davis. So this is where we're going, folks. But why would Monet trust him enough to give him either product or anything? I mean, she can pull him in without having to give.
I think he's gonna have to do something in this episode to prove himself, to show that he is a trustworthy enough figure to be a part of this world. And I think she's already curious about a lot of different things. Maybe it's something in relation to what Zeke is going through. Maybe that's how Tariq can sort of get a little bit of a foothold. I do need something more from like the educational aspect of the show right now, because if you're sort of telling me, all right, I have 60 minutes and I can sort of choose what minutes go where, I'm like, give me like 30 minutes of the case and Tasha, give me like 30 minutes of Monet, and I'm not like allocating anything to like Carrie or Jabari or the school right now.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this. They do need to bring in, for me, that aspect of, is he going to be selling at school? Is he going to be, something else has to be going there, because we know that it's part of the story that he has to balance school with his love life, with his getting the money, with everything that's going on. That's fine. Yeah. But I don't need to see Tariq in class talking about the book. I certainly don't need, yeah, about Carrie or Jabari. I just don't care about any of that. I'm really interested in what's going on everywhere else.
This is the problem with book 2. You gotta balance, okay, studying, which inherently is not fun or interesting, with the horrifying nature of people getting their limbs sawed off after they're killed or whatever they were doing.
Yeah, it feels like the whole purpose of the school was a vehicle so that Tariq is able to meet Zeke and meet Monet. That's the purpose of the school for me right now. If they do decide to, move the drugs into the school, then it becomes a bigger part for me.
Well, we'll talk more in the days to come about everything with Power Book 2, but what do you guys want to see on Power Book 2 Ghost Episode 3? Give us your thoughts, your theories below, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us more, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.